Hello and welcome to the Political Arena, a program designed to discuss anything and everything about politics, those who play it, as well as the people who are watching them play the way it should or should not. In today's edition of the program, we'll highlight top-rounding political stories and election concerns for the 2023 general elections. We'll be right back.
The time is suggested in the motion.
From 31st January to June 31st, 2023, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it.
Do you know what it takes to lead? Do you understand what is politics? Do you have issues concerning the way we play politics? Do you have reservations about some political mugu? Do you want to serve or be served? Do you want to contest? Do you want to occupy any political office or be in charge of your world? All this and many more are what we discuss right here in the Political Arena, a program where we trash and arrange, condemn and commend, celebrate and blame all that play out in politics. Do not be told. Join me, Warner Available, every Saturday by 7 p.m. to throw more light on why we play politics the way we do and how we can play it better. Political Arena, building a government of the people and for the people. Don't miss it. All right, thank you so much for being with us on the program today. Quick stories in politics. The Independent National Electoral Commission has said registered voters attached to new polling units will receive short message service to enable them to know their polling units. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu, in a message to voters, said the notification would make voting more credible and result management more transparent. He also noted that the register of such voters had been sent to the resident electoral commissions for publicity, particularly through messages in local languages. And still on news in politics, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State has said it was too late to achieve reconciliation between the G5 governors and Dr. Iyorchia Ayu-led national leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The governor, who made the remarks in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, said even before the Enugu governor hosted the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, they knew about it. He said the G5 knew about it and they cannot tell about the approach. He said they should forget about what people are saying, that February 25th is already here. He says everybody will see and that it is over. He said they had postulated that there was nothing anybody could do about it. They believed that they had won the election, so they don't need them. And he's not ready to sit down again with anybody. And in Kano State Labour Party governorship candidate Bashir has defected to the All Progressive Congress, saying he was sidelined by the party. He therefore pledged his support for the presidential candidate of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. While announcing his defection from Labour Party, Bashir said that they could be called that on the 27th of January 2023, they issued a press release in which they expressed their concerns that neither he or the Kano State governorship candidate nor any of their colleagues and associates were consulted on important decisions that was happening in the Labour Party. He said that he was working in the Labour Party. And in Benue State, Governor Samuel ORTOM on Thursday declared that he was working for the emergence of Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party, LP, as the next president of Nigeria. The governor, who made the open declaration at a town hall meeting addressed by the LP presidential candidate in Makurdi, said his decision was premised on his conviction that Mr. Obi was mentally and physically prepared for the task of getting the country working again. And that's the roundup of the top political stories. We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Don't sleep, don't
2023 holds a lot for Nigerians and the world at large. This February, the general elections will be happening live. Nigerians will be deciding new set of leaders. What are on their minds? What are the candidates up to in securing your votes? Will this election mark a new high for free and fair elections? All these and more are all up for discussion at the political arena. So, watch out. Welcome back from the break. On the next phase of the political arena, we'll be looking at concerns about the 2023 general elections and, of course, been giving you updates on some of the activities of INEC in ensuring that the 2023 general elections goes as planned. The 7th consecutive general elections in Nigeria's 4th Republic holds next weekend. Finally, the time is here. Of course, it will be on the 25th of February and March 11th, 2023. Looking at concerns about the upcoming general elections, number one on our list, of course, is security. Well, a total of over 1.2 million officials have been trained and will be deployed for the elections, according to INEC. They include presiding, collation, and returning officers, as well as 530,000 plus polling unit security officials. Ahead of the approaching poll, INEC has recruited and estimated 1.4 million ad hoc staff, comprising presiding officers, assistant presiding officers 1, 2, and 3, collation officers, returning officers, registration area center technicians, and registration area center managers, and ancillary pro team staff. They are the ones, all of these people, that will conduct the general elections and are majorly sourced from the National Youth Service Corps scheme and federal universities. Even yesterday, I was at the particular venue to see the situation of the training. Now, given that only students who graduated below 30 years are mobilized to participate in the NYC scheme. And still on security, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, of course, has confirmed the readiness of the Nigerian police force for the general elections. Now, this is what he had to say, that some 310,000 plus officers and men have been mobilized to provide security during the exercise, which is scheduled for February 25th and March 11th. Now, Baba, who spoke with newsmen at the State's House in Abuja, also said other security outfits, aside the military and the Department of State Service, DSS, would complement efforts of the police with a total of 93,133 personnel, bringing it all up to over 404,000 plus personnel. Now, over 1 million combined security forces that will be deployed to enforce and ensure election security before, during, and after the elections will be youths. The question one will want to ask is, will they be under the supervision of their seniors, or do what is expected of them? Well, we can't say about that until we will be observing the election itself and see how everything pans out. Number 2 on our list is voter education. And of course, as the elections is gearing up, Civil Group launches app for Nigerians to meet all presidential, State House of Assembly candidates. And of course, they are a civic technology organization called Aura Data Science, and they recently launched an application ahead of the 2023 general elections, which allows Nigerians to know all the presidential candidates down to the State's House of Assembly candidates, particularly to their locations. Now, Aura Data developed the platform My Candidate, where Nigerians can get information about every candidate at all levels and at all states. This is a welcome development for Nigerians, because when we're going and gearing up towards the poll, ask Nigerians, who are you voting for? Down at the local government chairman. Some don't even know, some don't care about. And this app coming in from Aura Data will do Nigerians justice and help them to be properly informed on all the candidates at every level. This is a welcome development, and I do hope that Nigerians can actually take, advantage of this technology and this application to get to know all of the candidates who will be contesting down from the local level to the state level and, of course, even at the national level. All right, now, thirdly, on concerns about the 2023 general elections, we'll be looking at concerns from the UN. The United Nations office in Nigeria has outlined a number of concerns in the build-up to Nigeria's general elections on the 25th of February and 11th of March. Now, they said that they are concerned about elections being postponed due to violence. Now, speaking about the major concern of the global organization, it is not just violence in the northeast that Mr. Skimale pointed out, but it is in the southeast and other places in the northwest. Now, he said the violence could negatively affect the running of and the outcome of the elections. Now, two other matters that the United Nations is also concerned about is the perennial fuel crisis in the country and the recent cash crunch across Nigeria, not to mention fuel scarcity. Of course, it has become the norm in many parts of Nigeria, with prices more than doubling as a result. Now, another fourth concern raised by the UN official was hate speech. Now, last year, the Electoral Commission signed a memorandum of understanding with transport unions that will help deploy over 1 million personnel and large quantities of election materials to 774 local government areas, 8,809 electoral wards, and 176,000 plus polling units across the country. Over 100,000 vehicles and about 4,200 boats, accompanied by naval gunboats, will be used. These have to be deployed under the current state of insecurity as well as fuel scarcity. No doubt all the concerns that the United Nations has raised about the upcoming 2023 general elections is really a huge issue. We'll talk about the scarcity of the Naira notes. How is that going to play an impact on the decision and the choice of who Nigerians is going to vote for is yet to be seen, as we are patiently awaiting for the 25th, of course, of this month, when Nigerians will be deciding who they would vote for. Now, some have put forward that this is in a ploy, to put Nigerians at a disarray and, of course, to, fuel some political points for some political candidates. And, of course, the camp of the APC-led Tinubu campaign has, come forward to say that this is all in a ploy to jeopardize the choice of their presidential candidate being elected. But some, of course, have put forward again that this is for the greater good, talking about buying of votes. Well, we'll see how all of that play. As, of course, in some quarters, there has been accusations of banks partnering with some political officials to hoard the cash. Well, as evidence of that is yet to be seen. And of course, we're still watching out for other updates to see how, how factual, those allegations are. And we can only hope that Nigerians, are not perturbed about these challenging times. Now, on the issue of fuel scarcity, of course, last week's edition of the Political Arena, I interviewed the REC chairman of INEC in Kogi State, and he was talking about the fact that INEC is putting everything in play. But will the fuel scarcity also pose a problem to Nigerians? Well, we will get to see how that turns out and how that plays out. And talking about the economy, which has worsened due to the scarcity of notes, we're complaining. If you and I are complaining, what about those in the rural areas? How are they faring? I was discussing with a friend recently, and she was talking about the fact that she had to mail money to her parents who lives across the river side. And this is really troubling. And will all this, with the pure intention, so to speak, of the Central Bank of Nigeria, of course, who has been backed up by President Muhammadu Buhari, will all of this go in a long way to have, a great impact on the election? Another concern has been the postponement of the general elections. And of course, recently, President Muhammadu Buhari stated clearly that he is not ready, to create an interim government, and he hopes, to hand over power to whoever wins as the results presents itself from the 25th of February, when Nigerians would have, been able to elect their leaders. Well, we'll see how that plays out in the course and in the turn of events as the general elections, kicks off on the 25th of February 2023. And that's the much I can take on the program today, but I'll leave you with some words from Femi Akintunde Johnson. The journey of 1,000 miles, however arduous, usually starts with a few tentative steps. The long-standing anticipation of what has been promised to be the most pivotal, game-changing of general elections since the creation of this nation is just merely a week away. So close. For close to 4 years, we have huffed and puffed about a unique power transition process which offers a plethora of professional or technocratic politicians without a hint of military background to remind us of our inglorious past. And since the middle of last year, when the major presidential candidates emerged, Nigerians have witnessed a series of actions, gaffes, disclosures, allegations, fumblings, and some moments of brilliance and flurry of incredible promises and changes. Now, remember that the onus rests on you to go out there and vote. And talking about in the elections, recently INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu assured Nigerians that INEC will uphold the outcome of the general elections. Please take a look.
The Nigerian democracy, and Nigeria is equally interested in the U.S. democracy. I said this in Washington. For those who did not hear me, I want to repeat it again. If the United States is the largest presidential democracy in the world, which country is the second largest presidential democracy in the world? It's actually Nigeria. Yes, you may have other countries like India, Indonesia, other democracies, but they are parliamentary democracies, not presidential democracy. And based on the projection of Nigeria's population in the next 30 years, who knows, we may also actually overtake the United States as the largest presidential democracy in the world. So we're interested in ensuring that we consolidate our democracy. There is no system of government better than a democratic system where the will of the people will continue to prevail. We released the timetable and schedule of activities for this election last year, in February 2022. At that time, we identified 14 activities based on the provisions of the law that will have to be implemented leading to the election. And I'm happy to say that out of the 14 activities, we have so far implemented 12 on schedule. Only 2 activities are outstanding. And what are these 2 activities? The last day before campaign by political parties, which will be on Thursday, the 23rd February 2023, and the election day proper, which for the national election, that is presidential and the National Assembly, will hold on the 25th of February, and for state elections, meaning governorship and state houses assembly, on the 11th of March. So I want to reassure you that we are on the same page in our total commitment to a credible, free and fair process, and to assure Nigerians that we'll uphold only that which transpires at the polling units, and that is the will of the Nigerian people.
And on that note, we come to the end of this edition of Political Arena. Join me on this channel, Malachite TV Online, next week, same time, to discuss all about politics and the players, including you, that is watching us. For your information appearance on this program, contributions on how to make life better, feedback, advert placement, and sponsorship, even to watch our previous editions, visit our YouTube channel, Malachite TV. You can also call any of the numbers now displaying on your screen to connect with us. Once again, my name is Mono Balagbobo, and don't forget to follow us, please, on our Twitter handle at MLC TV, And of course, my handle at Monosoul Sings across all social media platforms. And our Facebook page remains MLC TV. Do enjoy your weekend. And of course, next week, it will be another time to have a look on the elections proper itself. Ensure you vote and not fight. God bless Kogi State. God bless Nigeria.